So now children, the next topic that we are going to do in this chapter, body fluids and circulation, is human circulatory system. It's important, so please listen to the videos and each and every line very carefully. Also keep your NCERT with you and a pencil to underline very important lines. Human circulatory system, also called the blood vascular system, consists of a muscular chambered heart. I will not again and again describe this. I have already done it in previous video. A network of closed branching blood vessels. Now our circulatory system has many parts. One heart, a network of closed branching blood vessels, blood, and the fluid which is circulated. So all these constitute together to form our circulatory system. Children, heart, the mesodermally derived organ. Now what do you mean by mesodermal derived organ? This means, if you remember, in class 9 you have done that diversity chapter in which you read that either the organism is triploblastic or diploblastic. Now what does it mean? Triploblastic means when an organism is derived or formed from three germ layers. That means every organism begins or starts its journey of life from one cell, that is zygote. Now this cell divides and redivides into a group or bunch of cells. Children, these group of cells arrange themselves either in three layers or in two layers. If the organism has only two layers, then it is diploblastic. But if the organism has three layers, it is called triploblastic. The three layers are ectoderm, which is the outer one, endoderm, which is the inner one, and mesoderm, which is the middle layer. So we humans are triploblastic. That means we are made up of three layers: ectoderm, endoderm, and the middle one is the mesoderm. So the organs, few organs of the body are formed from ectoderm, few from endoderm, and few from mesoderm. So the heart is formed from mesodermal cells. That means the middle layer which has few cells, and the heart is formed from those cells. That is why we say that heart is mesodermally derived organ. I hope I have made myself very clear about this line. Children, it is situated in the thoracic cavity. You know where is the thorax? Just above the abdomen we have a thorax region. In between the two lungs. Now heart, generally people say it is on the left side, but heart is not on the left side. It is in the center between the two lungs, but yes, it is slightly tilted. And because it is tilted, the pointed part of the heart or the pointed portion of the heart is towards the left. That is why we feel the heartbeat on the left side of our chest. But it is not placed on the left side. It is in the center of the two lungs. It has a size of a clenched fist. Whatever, just fold on and have a fist. See the size of your fist. Whatever is the size of your fist, same is the size of your heart. It is protected by a double-walled membranous bag called pericardium. Double-walled membranous bag called pericardium, and that double wall, because there are two walls, so between those two walls there will be a fluid called pericardial fluid. Let me show you here. In this diagram, you see heart is mesodermally derived. Already I told you. It is protected by a double layered pericardial wall. Now to show you, they have shown, they have just focused on this portion of the heart, pericardium. See, the two pericardium, one is the parietal pericardium and the other one is the visceral pericardium, and in between these two pericardium there is pericardial fluid. Just zoom out and you will be able to see it. So between these two, I said pericardium is two membranous. So there are two membranes. One is the parietal pericardium, which is the outer membrane, the visceral pericardium, which is the inner one, and between these two pericardiums there is a fluid filled, which is called pericardial fluid. And what is the function of this? It will reduce the friction between the heart walls and the surrounding tissues. Now, because heart, children, is a pumping organ, it will pump blood. Heart is a pumping organ. It will pump blood by contraction and relaxation. And due to these contractions and relaxations, there will be movements. And you understand, when there are movements, because two layers are so close to each other, friction can take place. So just to reduce that friction, this pericardial fluid is being given there in between the two layers to reduce the friction between the heart walls and the surrounding tissues. I hope this is clear. Now let's move on further. Our heart has four chambers. Two relatively small upper chambers are called arteria, and two larger lower ones are called ventricles. We know this. Thin muscular wall called the interarterial septum separates the right and the left arteria, whereas a thick walled, the interventricular septum, separates the left and the right ventricles. Now just see these lines. What they say is, yeah. Now you see there is a septum in between. Now there is a septa in between the two to separate auricles from each other. There is a septa which separates the two auricles, and that septa is quite thin. That septum is thin and it is called interarterial. Why interarterial? Because it is between the two arteria, separating the two arterias, so it is thin. So interarterial septum. See, interarterial septum, quite thin. This one, they have just marked it for you. Interarterial septum, it is so thin between the two atrium. And there is also a septum which is called interventricular septum. See, and it is quite thick. So these are the septums which are separating the two auricles and the two ventricles. So interarterial septum, which separates the arteria, it is thin, and interventricular septum, which separates the ventricles, and it is quite thick in comparison to the arterial septum, right? So this was what was written in your book. Okay, so these, what are the functions? If they ask you what is the function of the septa, children, the septa will not allow the blood to mix between the two chambers. Okay, so that is the function of the septa. Now let's move on. The atrium and the ventricle of the same side are also separated by thick fibrous tissue called the arterioventricular septum. Now you see there is another septum, right atrium and right ventricle. Even these are separated by another septum. If I could show you here, arterioventricular septum. Okay, this is atrioventricular septum, the white portion you see, the white one. This is atrioventricular septum because it is separating this atrium or the right one to the right ventricle from the right ventricle. These two septums are separating each other. Okay, these two chambers are being separated by this septum rather. So between atria and ventricle also there is a septum. Similarly here between the atria and the ventricle there is another septum here. See, so these are atrioventricular septums because they are separating one atria from the ventricle. Okay, they are separating one arteria from the ventricle. So these are the atrioventricular septums. Now children, again come back to your book. You see the arteria and the ventricle are on the same side and they are separated by this. However, each of these septa are provided with an opening through which two chambers on the same side are connected, and the opening between the right atrium and right ventricle is guarded by a valve formed by three muscular flaps or cups. Let me show you here. Now you see the tricuspid valve. Okay, this is a tricuspid valve which is on the in between the joining portion or in between the you can say a border of right atrium and right ventricle. So there is a septa. Now because sorry, there is a valve. Now because if right and right auricle and right ventricle are separated by a septa, then how will the blood communicate between the two chambers? So they have given a valve in between. So this valve is called tricuspid valve. Now children, why do we call it as tricuspid valve? Tri me because there are three flaps here. Okay, there are three flaps. Now, as soon as the blood moves from right auricle to right ventricle, these flaps will spread out and they will block the valve so that backflow of blood is prevented. That means once the blood moves on from right auricle to right ventricle, once it has entered the right ventricle, the flaps will spread out and the valve is now closed so that the blood does not move back to the right auricle. Similarly, there is a valve here on the left port side of the heart in between the left auricle and the left ventricle, and the valve is known as bicuspid valve because it has only two flaps. Again, the flaps will do the same thing. They will block the valve once the blood has entered from left auricle to left ventricle so that the backflow is prevented. Okay, so you understood? I hope you understood the openings of right and left ventricles are guarded by the two valves. Children, now let me also show you one thing. Yeah. Okay. The openings of right and left ventricles. Okay. Now children, let me show you in your book, even they have given a very good diagram. This is your right ventricle. See, this is your right ventricle and this is your left ventricle. You can see. Now the right ventricle opens through pulmonary. Let me show you. Okay. Yeah. So right ventricle opens through, see, pulmonary artery. Okay.